So today we are going to talk about Salim Javed, because I would say my upbringing is done by my parents and as well as Salim Javed, because I have watched a lot of movies by Salim Javed and I have learned a lot from them. So I am going to talk to you about them. Salim Javed as a Jodi, they must have made about 32, 33 odd movies. So my plan is to talk about each and every movie in detail, maybe subsequent lectures, because every movie has huge background things to be talked about. So many things have happened in the background which we can talk, and one can learn from that. Whatever happened with them, that can be their hindsight will be our foresight. So that is how it is. So we'll talk about success lessons or life lessons by Salim Javed. So all of you know Salim Javed. So we'll talk about briefly about individual their childhood and how they reached the working age, and then how they met, and then how things started as a Jodi. So first we'll talk about Mr. Salim Khan, his childhood. So he was born in Indore. Okay, when he was about 4 years old, there was a they have those gav mein, we have those people who come on the cart with some toys. So there was a person who came with those toys on that cart, and he flicked one car, what it is called, key wound car. You used to do that, used to give the key to the car, like so that spring kind of, and then you release the car will actually get driven. So he stole without him knowing, that person knowing, the person was Soli. So he stole that car and came home. Okay, so he was only 4 years old. When his mother, Salim's mother, found out this is the case, she said, "You go back and give the car to him." Now the young Salim said that if I have to give it back to him, he will know that I had stolen this and he might trash me. She said, "Whatever it is, you have to go and give it back to him, and go and give it to him and say sorry. If he asks what happened, you should say this is what I did." And so unwillingly, Salim Khan went to that person and gave the car back. Okay. So that was his first lesson in ethics. If you see what the movie, the hero is shown straight of following the law to the T. So that has come from his mother. So his mother is always telling that you have to be ethical in all the dealings. He was very small when his mother, she was down with TB, and that time, those days, TB means you are gone. So his mother died when he was 9 years old. Salim was 9 years old, and his father died when he was 14 years old. And last 5 years, his mother was separated from the entire family, because TB was contagious. People used to think that everybody will catch. So from from 4 to the age 9, those 5 years, he was not able to go near his mother. So there is one incident which Salim Saab always tells, that after few years, Salim's mother called somebody and said, "Who is this guy?" This Salim Khan was called Gullu. So who is this child? Then that lady said, "He is your son." So she was so overwhelmed with emotion, but she couldn't take him near. So Salim Khan, even today, when he recollects that, he has tears in his eyes. That he thinks what the mother must have gone through. That mother is looking at the child and not able to touch the child, because she will, if I touch him, he might contract TB. So that is what, if you closely observe all the movies, which if time permits, I will have all those movies also in these sessions. All these movies, if you carefully observe, all Salim Javed's movies, mother is shown as very strong character, and father is absolutely, either unka photo laga hua hai or he is somewhere absconding. So mother is actually taken care of, because in both of their lives, mother was very strong. Okay, so this is how it is. So when he was 9 years old, she died, and he lost his father when he was Salim was 14 years old. And they were very rich. They were fourth generation. They came from Afghan. They were Pathans. They came from Afghan and they settled there. His father was DIG in Indore. That was the highest position allowed to the Indian. He was DIG that time. Okay. So his date of birth 24th November 35. If you see today, he must be 80 plus, 82, 83. Still, because Pathan, that blood is still perfect. Pathan from Ahmedabad, son of DIG. He was called Gullu, father gone at 14. Now there he saw one movie in those times. The movie name was Garden of Evil. Garden of Evil. In that, the movie was on Britishers, and Indians were attacking them. So they decided some people will stop there to fend off Indians, and some people will run. But who will go back, who will go and who will stop, who will remain there? So that was decided by the draw of cards. Okay, So similar scene was there in one of the movies of theirs. Which movie? So out of the total soldiers, half were supposed to stand there and half ran away. So similar scene was there in one of their top movies. With the draw of cards, they showed something else. So one person stayed, one person left in one of the movies. What was that movie? So Gundas were coming, the dacoits were coming, and the two heroes are there. One hero says, I will wait here, you go. And who will decide? Then they Sholay. So that scene is taken from here. In this movie, the inspiration is taken from here. Then Amitabh says, heads, I will stay back, tails, you will stay back. And head comes and he stays. This movie is the inspiration for that scene. And they were super rich. Salim Khan's family, they were very rich. They used to have the barber coming at their place. And the name of the barber was Hariram Nai. Where you have seen this character in any of the movies? Sholay. The same character was put in there as Hariram Nai. Okay. Now about childhood. His father used to tell him a lot of stories. Because he was in which department? I just said. You are DIG police. So he used to chase dacoits and all that. So he used to tell him a lot of dacoit stories. His mother was not there, so father used to tell him a lot of stories. And most of the stories are incorporated in movies. So there was a story where he said there was a very dangerous dacoit. He cut noses of police officers, the constables and others. So, and the name of the dacoit was Gabbar Singh. Ears and noses were cut by that dacoit. And same name Gabbar Singh was used in Sholay. So he had Jaguar car. Triumph was a motorcycle that time. It was like Harley Davidson. And he was a star batsman. He used to play good cricket. Same Arbaz Khan also loves cricket. So money was no problem at all. They were very, very, very rich. And but his father always, like everybody, all you people who have kids or grandkids, you should understand this. His father used to insist on that he should read. So they used to get a paper Statesman from Calcutta. It used to take 3 days to reach from Calcutta to Indore. But every day he used to read that paper. And his father inculcated that habit of reading in Salim Khan, which helped him in later years. See, you can be a good writer only if you are a good reader. So whatever has gone inside, like Twinkle Khanna says, all the words which go inside, it's like mixer and they come out as something else. So you put orange and you will get orange juice, something like that. So when you have words going inside your mind, something else also might. Here the orange juice only will come, but in the words wide it will be something else. So but words have to go inside. You have to keep on reading to be able to write something good. So he used to write love letters for his friends. So the thing is like this. When he came to Bombay, most of their love affairs were broken off. Why? So he had a friend, he has a girlfriend. So Salim used to write letter for her like he has written. So after Salim went to Mumbai, the letters stopped and the girls thought, you don't love me anymore. Because the kind of writing now you are doing, it is third grade. At that time he used to write so good. So he was instrumental in breaking their love story. Though he was instrumental in getting them together, but also when he left Indore, everything fell apart. Now he had two very close friends in Indore, Jai Singh Rao Kalewar and Virendra Singh Bias. So where you have seen these two names? In any of the movies? Sholay. Jai and Viru. Okay. Now Jai Singh Rao Kalewar is the same name is used in one of the movies of only Salim Khan. Anybody knows which movie? It is the comeback movie of Salim Khan. When they broke off, Salim and Javed, and Salim Saab came up with a new movie. His first movie as a solo writer. Naam. In that movie, Ashutosh Kowarikar has played this character. He's shown a taxi driver. You have not seen Naam? Anybody of you? Please, it is there on YouTube. Please, tremendous movie. And the kind of dialogues, like people used to have that misconception that Salim Khan is a businessman and Javed Akhtar is the real artistic brain band whole thing. And Salim is selling those stories and he is writing those stories. Or the dialogues is written. So people had that conception, misconception. So when they broke off, all the business went to Javed. And Salim was jobless for 5 years. He used to look at the phone, it used to not ring. He used to pick up the phone and the phone is working, why it is not ringing? Nobody came to him. And after a few years, Kumar Gaurav went to, not Kumar Gaurav, his father, Rajendra Kumar went to They were having drink once, and then he said, "My son, all the movies are getting flop. First two movies were hit, Love Story and one more movie, and then everything is going down and down and down. What to do? Then you write something for my son." Then Salim said, "Nobody is coming to me. Why you want to come to me? And he's already flopped." Then he very good thing Rajendra Kumar said. He said, "Minus and minus makes it plus. So you are minus, my son is minus, something plus will come up." And then unwillingly, this guy wrote a movie. Salim Saab wrote Naam and super hit. And unfortunately, Sanjay Dutt became superstar. It was written for Kumar Gaurav, but Sanjay stole the show. I don't know whether you have seen, but please see that movie. Nobody has seen Naam. So in that scene, in that movie, there is one scene where Sanjay Dutt is drinking a glass of beer is there in his hands. He is walking in a subway of Churchgate subway, and 4 or 5 people are waiting for him that they are going to hit him with all talwar and all that, cycle ka chain and everything. And Sanjay Dutt comes and stops there. And Sanjay Dutt says, "आप लोग 4-5 जन है, आप लोग मुझे आराम से मार दोगे, लेकिन माँ कसम, जो मुझे पहले हाथ लगाएगा मैं उसे जान से मार दूंगा, जो मुझे पहले हाथ लगाएगा मैं उसे जान से मार दूंगा, मारो." And then everybody is stunned. There are 5-6 guys, they are just looking at him, and they are looking at each other, who will hit him first, and nobody touches him. And then he, in fact, one of the persons who was there, who has come to hit, he has a glass of beer. So Sanjay snatches that beer from his hand, and he just goes laughing. Now that scene also has happened with Salim Khan in Indore long back, where somebody was about to hit him, and he was stopped, and that time Salim said, "I will kill the person who will hit me first. So you decide who wants to get killed. You will kill me, but I will kill the person who has hit me first." And that real life scene was put in, and that became highlight of Naam. You see that movie, it became highlight. Okay, so Jai Singh Rao Kalewar is a taxi driver shown by, played by Ashutosh Gowarikar in that movie. Very good small role, but excellent role, and that name is given to him. Now Ramesh Saigal was the director who directed Samadhi and Shahid, all these top movies. He offered him a role because Salim was, even today he looks better than Salman Khan, I'm sorry, but if you see him, he looks very handsome. You imagine what the kind of looks he must have had when he was 20, 22, 25. Yeah, he's there in Tisri Manzil. That is also a very important point. In Tisri Manzil, he is actually kind of replacing Shammi Kapoor. In the sense, people are saying he's Rocky. But Shammi is not there. He comes across as he's Rocky, that flamboyant drummer. So he looks as good as Shammi Kapoor, I would say. So in this movie, Ramesh Saigal offered him a role. He refused. He had huge attitude. He said, "No, I don't want this. This whatever script he offered, he refused that." So he refused Ramesh Saigal. Okay, at that time. And he attended Tarachand Barjatya from which productions? Rajeshri Productions. He attended his son's wedding, and that time they offered him a movie. That time when Mr. K. Amarnath was the person who was supposed to direct the next movie, he said, "You come to Mumbai, I will give you." That time they were not used to pay movie wise; they used to give salary. So he said, "You will be with us, Rajeshri Productions, and your salary will be 1,000 rupees a month." And that time Salim accepted. But when he came, they offered him 700 rupees a month. So he said, "Okay." And because money was never his problem, so he said, "Okay, let us do it." And he came he came to Rajeshri. And when he came in Mumbai to become hero, he again the kind of attitude he had. He said, "मैं दिलीप कुमार की दुकान बंद कर दूंगा." Dilip Kumar was superstar that time. He said, "मैं उसकी दुकान बंद कर दूंगा." See, unless you believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you. He became a flop hero, whatever it is, but he believed in himself. He always believed that I am the best. Because he used to think that I am the best, I am better than Dilip. Yeah, because he's a... No, nothing. He never knew Dilip also. He didn't know, he had not met him also. But he said, Dilip was the top star today. Like today, Salman or Shah Rukh, somebody coming says, "मैं Shah Rukh की दुकान बंद कर दूंगा." That means he thinks that I am better than Shah Rukh. So that time he thought I am better than... see, in fact, I would say, this is my message to people who want to go in film industry. Film industry needs arrogance. If you go there and the director meets you and he will ask you, "Will you perform this role?" You will say, "I will try." He will say, go home. The person will say, "This is nothing, I can do it easily." He will come. They look at your confidence. See, here it is not what you are, not how good you are. It is how good you think you are. Because when the lights are on and 100 people are watching, you may be a good actor, but if you don't have guts, you are gone. So attitude is the first thing. So arrogance works in film industry. So if you are modest, you are out. Unless you have somebody big supporting you. If suppose you are nobody, you have to go and say, I am the best, show me the role, I will do it. So that attitude has to be there. So he had that. And he said, Dilip Kumar ki dukaan band kar dunga. Okay. In fact, this is a mistake what I have written. His elder brother, when he was going to Mumbai, his elder brother said, he will come back, he will not do anything there. Salim was such a flamboyant person, so he actually had joined pilot course also, which he left in between. So many things he started, and he was Aramba Shur. He should start and then he should not close it. In fact, people say, it is, I don't know whether it is right to say about him, but failures start well and successful guys end well. But his heart was not on all those things, so he used to quit those things. So when he was about to go to Mumbai, his brother said, you will come back in no time. You will not succeed. And same thing he put in the movie Naam. When Sanjay Dutt gets a job in Dubai, while going, Nutan says, वहाँ कुछ नहीं करेगा, वापस आएगा, वहाँ भी fail होगा, he will come back. उसका जो भाई ने बोला था, same thing Nutan says to Sanjay Dutt. And when Sanjay Dutt goes to Dubai, he finds that the job is not there. He's seen the movie. When he goes to Dubai, he knows that there is nothing. He cheated. Ideally, he could have come back, but he doesn't come back because his mother had taunted him that you will come back. You will not do anything. And he stays there, and then at the end, you will see what happens to him. I don't want to tell you the story, but see the movie now. In that movie, there is one dialogue which I can never forget, where one person says, I think Nutan only says, or Kumar Gaurav says, एहसान उतारा जा सकता है, कर्ज उतारा जा सकता है, एहसान नहीं. कर्ज उतारा जा सकता है, एहसान नहीं. If I have given you 100 rupees, you can give me 100 rupees back. कर्ज उतर गया. लेकिन if I have helped you, you cannot repay that at all. So एहसान कभी उतारा नहीं जा सकता. That is a dialogue which in that movie it is super hit. So his elder brother had said that he will come back. He cannot do anything. He will come back. So he came to Mumbai. He started struggling, but he didn't go back because he didn't want his brother to be right. In fact, he had about 25 movies. He worked in 25 movies, mostly unreleased. Most of the movies couldn't complete. So that is how his fate was like that. And by the time he completed all these, he was in this industry, his age shot up to a level where he cannot apply for government jobs. So he was at an age where he cannot go and go for government kind of job or competitive exams. So that door also was closed. Okay, he doesn't go back. He didn't go back because his brother had said that he will come back. So he decides not to go back. When there was a incident where he was at Churchgate station and one girl comes to him and asks for some address. And he tells the address to her, and that is Sushila Charak. And then they subsequently fall in love. How that happens? He gives the address to Sushila and she goes wherever. And then after a few days, Salim was staying somewhere. Then in one of the movies, Salim and Ajit, they work together. And in that movie, Ajit says, where you are staying? He said, I am staying with those 2-3 guys. So he said, okay, I have a flat in Mahim, which is lying vacant, and I want to sell that. So I am not giving it on rent, because I want to sell it off. So till the time it gets sold, you can stay there. And then Salim Khan comes in this flat, in Mahim. And next day he opens the door, opposite building, Sushila. She was staying there. And they again reconnect, and in 5 years they go around, they were in love for 5 years. And she used to refuse all the marriage proposals in those times. But she was not having guts to tell her father that I love this boy who is Muslim and he is in films. And she is Kokanasta Brahman. So father would have been very upset that how can you marry Muslim and a person. That time film industry, even boys used to not go. So, Subhash Ghai ran away from home to go and work in movies. People used to run away because I want to work in movies. Even boys. Even today, father and mother, they enroll you for acting classes, and even girls are enrolled in acting classes. And Sushila's father was very upset when he came to know their affair, and when Sushila said, I want to marry him only. And her father's name was Baldev Singh Charak. So where that name is used? Sholay. So Thakur Baldev Singh. So that name is Sushila's father's name. Okay. And they got married in 1964. Yeah. Salman's mother. So they got married in 64 and 65. Abdul Rashid Salim Salman Khan was born. So they put all those names, grandfathers and all that. Abdul,
Rashid, R-A-S-I-H-I-D, sorry, Rashid Salim Salman Khan. So Salman Khan's grandfather, great grandfather, grandfather and father. That was 65. And even that time he was not successful. Actually they started getting success around 70. But in this duration he was only working. There was a movie in Tisri Manzil, as he rightly said, he worked in Tisri Manzil. Tisri Manzil, all of you have seen? You have seen. Please, yeah, tremendous. But we cannot imagine that kind of movie happening today. Tremendous. And that movie was written by Nasir Hussain. And Salim worked in that movie. And that time he realized the importance of writing, because Nasir Hussain was a good writer. He used to write his own movies and direct. That Tisri Manzil was directed by Devanand's brother, Goldie Anand, Vijay Anand. But earlier he used to write and direct. This movie he wrote along with Vijay Anand. Vijay Anand helped him in, and tremendous movie. That time Salim realized that writing is something which one should look at. Before Salim Javed came on scene, there was nothing like written by. So written was, no credit was given. You go on set, there is some guy, unkept guy, sitting in the corner and writing. Nobody used to bother. हो गया क्या? लेके आओ कागज, क्या है? वापस लिख. You are like that. So the writers were never given any importance. That time only good-looking heroines were important. Songs, Mohammad Rafi, khalas, picture hit. Writing, and there were same stories, some here and there. So writer was not given any importance at all. But here in this movie, while working, Salim Khan understood that writing is very, very important. If you write a good movie, it can become hit, irrespective of the star. That he realized that time. Okay. And that time Salim Khan asked himself that I don't know much about writing. He used to read a lot, but he don't know much about film writing. But then he realized nobody else knows, and people who are writing, they are writing worse than what he can think of. So he said, they are writing so bad, at least I can do better than them. So why I can't become writer? That seed was in his mind. You see what happens is, in fact, when I started giving lectures, so I started going to a lot of seminars. So whenever I used to see somebody giving lecture, I thought I can do at least what he's doing, or maybe one step ahead. So that gave me confidence of going and starting my own lectures. So when you see somebody and think, okay, I can do this, or maybe I can better this, or I can reach near what he's doing, then you can also take that as a career. But if you think, oh my God, I cannot touch him, then you will not go in that career at all. But he thought that no, everybody who is writing around, they are writing junk, and I can write much better. So he thought of being a writer at that point in time. In Mahim, there is one library, Victoria Circulating Library. He was member of that library. So he used to read Salim. See, one thing, please understand. People whom like these writers and people who are intellectual, they read a lot. And he used to read, like, if you give him bhel, he will eat the bhel and he used to read the paper. That bhel where it was on. He was that readoholic, I would say. He should read everything. So one fine morning he went to the library. He was there in the library for so many months. And once he goes there and gives the book back and says, give me new book. That time the librarian said, very shocking, which had never happened in the history of India. The librarian said, you have read all the books. Can you imagine a librarian saying, now this kind of library, librarian saying, you have read all the books, I don't have book to give you. That kind of passion he had for reading. So that is one incident which one should keep in mind. Now one day he goes to Dada Muni, Ashok Kumar, and he tells him that give me 15 minutes and I will tell you one story. And I'm sure you will like it. He was cocky about himself. And Dada Muni was kind of, okay, let me listen to your story. So when he listened to the story, he was shocked. He said, wow, this is very good. And that time he called Brij Sadana. He was the director of even Victoria number 203. So, and then they made a movie Do Bhai. In that Dada Muni was there, Jitendra Manasina. That was 69. Again, no credit was given to him. No credit was given to him. Now in that movie, Salim acted. And when he was asked what should be your name, he should write Prince Salim. If you see Do Bhai, the title will say Prince Salim. So he used to believe as if, and he had that aura that I am Prince. And he said, and he was not interested in having that writing credit that time. He wanted to be actor that time. So, but the movie was his, the concept was his, and somebody developed. Now Ajit introduced him to Abrar Alvi. So Ajit found out that this guy is a good reader, hence a good writer. And that time Dilip Kumar, Rajkumar, everybody started coming to Salim Khan. Intellectual discussion, because the way he used to talk was highly influential in terms of knowledge. So they started getting attracted towards him. So Ajit also was very close to him. So Ajit knew Abrar Alvi very well. Abrar Alvi was a good writer. So that time he was working on movie Professor, where Shammi Kapoor was working. That time Ajit goes to Abrar Alvi and tells him that ये लड़का जो है लिखता अच्छा है, can you take him as an assistant? Then he started assisting Abrar Alvi in writing. Okay, so he became kind of assistant to Abrar Alvi. And that once Abrar Alvi was sitting at in one of the places, and Salim Khan goes there and tells him that there will be a time when writers will be paid same as stars. Salim Khan told Abrar Alvi there will be a time when writers will be paid as much as stars are paid. And then Abrar Alvi asked him, do you think, now to that time Dilip Kumar was charging 12 lakhs. So do you think writers will be given 12 lakhs? You know what Salim said? See, today the movies run because of Dilip Kumar or the actors. If the movie is successful, people come to see the movie because of writers, they will be paid. And they created their brand. Because people started coming to see the movie if it is Salim Javed movie. And they were paid, there was time, in Janjeer they were paid more than Amitabh. Amitabh was not big star that time, but Janjeer writers were paid more than main hero. And he made it real, which Abrar Alvi laughed at him. He actually said, Mia, ये बात किसी और को मत बोलना, लोग तुम्हें पागल समझेंगे. Then he said, okay. And when he got the amount more than Amitabh Bachchan in Janjeer, he called Abrar Alvi and said, I got it today. So I said that it was not out of thin air. I believed in myself that I can write, and we have got it. We achieved that. So it was not a hollow. It is said that you go and build castles in the air and then put foundation. That also can be done. So he did that. That time Dilip Kumar was taking 12 lakhs. Okay, now this is the movie Sarhadi Luteri. It is a very important movie for entire Bollywood industry, Bollywood per se. Why? We will discuss that. S.M. Sagar was a director in Sarhadi Luteri. This was an action movie, and Salim was given a small romantic role. It was an action movie. Sarhadi Luteri. That time border and all that was. And Salim was constantly complaining about the writing of the movie. It was kind of, you should read and say, what the hell is written? This was continuously going on and on. He was frustrated to even talk those dialogues. And he was always telling Sagar that what is happening here. And Sagar also was frustrated, what should I do here? Whatever writer I have, I'm doing that. What can I do? And one fine day, that particular writer who used to come and write, nobody, because that time writer was not given any importance at all. They used to sit in the corner and dim light, they used to write. And then one day that writer didn't come. And everybody, see, that time there was no story as such. They used to come and they write and they used to enact. One structure was there, this will happen, and then the script was to get developed on the set. So one fine morning, everybody is assembled and they are going to shoot, and the writer is not there. Screenplay is there, but writer is not there to write actual. Then what to do? Then Sagar was frustrated. He said there was a clapper boy. So he calls that clapper boy and said, can you write? He said, I will write. And the clapper boy writes the dialogues and the rest of the things. And when those dialogues Salim reads, he was shocked. Who is this guy? And that was Javed Akhtar. And that is what he said. He is somebody, call him. And he was Javed. And he was made, Salim said, he is a very good writer. Yaar. Who is this guy? He should not be a clapper boy. Then immediately S.M. Sagar said, he will be writing my entire movie now. So that is how Javed Akhtar came on scene. That time they met first time. Javed was a clapper boy, please understand. I mean, Javed's story I will tell you, but he was still a clapper boy. Something around 67, no, not before that. Before that. Because their first movie which they actually wrote together was Andaz, in 69-70. Andaz. I will come to that. Now about Javed Akhtar. 1945, 17. Now yesterday, 2 days before his birthday was the 17th January. His father, Jan Nisar Akhtar, was a very famous poet, and he was into this, communist movement. So when he was born, Javed was born, his father goes to meet him, the newborn baby. Generally, Muslims, they read Azan in the ears of the child, newborn child, Azan. But he, what he did, Jan Nisar Akhtar, he read this communist manifesto in his ears, not his ears. So when the child is born, they recite Azan in the ears of the newborn. So in Javed's case, his father read communist manifesto in his ears. And that is why, I don't know, that may be the reason, but Javed was always for right and wrong. He used to always stand for right, because that was the first thing which he heard when he came out, that how it should be. So that actually matters. People think it doesn't, but there are things which matter. So his father married Safia and Javed's mother. When they were getting married, his father said to her, "Lamha lamha किसी जादू का फसाना होगा." Now we are getting married. Lamha lamha किसी जादू का फसाना होगा. So this जादू का फसाना. So his name was given as Jadoo. So Javed Akhtar's name was Jadoo. So he was always called Jadoo till the time he was like he was taken to school. The what name to write? Then they wrote Javed. But very few people know that his name actually is Jadoo only. Okay. And his father, famous poet, and mother was a professor in college. They are not very rich, but they were well-to-do. They were not poor either. But Javed went through hell. Why? We'll come to that. His mother wrote this. She used to write poems because her husband, like Javed's father, used to be on run. He used to be hiding because he was in that moment. So she has written one book also on poems, Zahr-e-Lab, Under the Lip. So she was a good writer in terms of poetry and other things. So it has come from, like, there about 2 or 3 generations are writers. Janesar Akhtar, his father, and all those people were good writers. And that is how Javed is. Javed's first song, you know, which movie? First song, Silsila. Dekha Ek Khab Silsile Hue. That was his first song. And in fact, one of the reasons which we will maybe discuss in subsequent sessions, why they broke off, because Javed wanted to write poems also, lyrics also, which Salim said, I don't want to. And Javed said, I will write, and we'll put Salim Javed. He said, I don't want my name. Like mother taught him at the age of 4 that you have to be ethical. So I don't want my name to be there if I have not written. So that was the first seed of. See, actually nobody, I cannot say that, because suppose Javed and Salim, they go through this video, they might call me and thrash me, because nobody knows why they separated. So I cannot take that, it is just a speculation. I don't know what has happened. Today, even today they are friendly, but they are not professionally together. Profession, they don't want to work, but even today whenever they meet, they are always friendly with each other. And one day after his 8th birthday, he lost his mother, Javed. And after his mother was dead, his aunt took Javed to the grave, and her body was wrapped in white cloth. And after that, so many years, he used to have that image in his mind, and used to get up in the middle of the night with all sweaty this. And same thing he has put in one movie, which is that where hero gets up in the middle of the night, thinking of that white, the body wrapped in white cloth. Janjeer. Amitabh Bachchan remembers his parents being killed. So that same thing he has put in there. So basically the whatever people write, that comes from their life. Now the movie which I have written, it has come from what I have seen in my childhood. How lower middle class or middle class Maharashtrian boys, what they do. What are the things which in Hindi picture are not seen, which I have written. I am sure that will be a super hit movie, because people will be shocked to see whatever I have written. Maybe a person like Anurag Kashyap or these kind of people might take that. We not so sugary, it is very hard hitting. But that side of these boys, middle class boys, Maharashtrian boys, had not. It is like Dil Chahta Hai. They have shown what rich guys are doing. Kids of rich guys are doing. So I would shown it what middle class boys do. So he had that dream, recurring dream always. He used to always say he lost his father to life and mother to death. Because though his father was alive, he was on run. And then subsequently his father gets married again. Few days Javed was staying with them, but he was uncomfortable that he leaves their home. Javed's younger brother's name was Salman Akhtar. Now this is the reason why the firstborn is given name Salman Khan. Salim's first son was called Salman because of his younger brother's name Salman. Are you getting me? So that is the connection, why the name Salman. Because if you see, the next child was Arbaz and the third one was Shoaib. In fact, to talk about Salim Khan, when they got married in 64, his father he cut all the ties with his daughter Sushila. So Salman was born, then Arbaz was born, and then after 4 or 5 years, this guy comes, this Shohil. When he was born, this guy goes to meet his daughter, Baldev Singh. And then again he happens to talk to Salim, and then he likes him so much that he said, I have lost 5 years with you. So I was so wrong that you are so good. And he said, I am repenting those 5 years I have not spoken to you or I was away from you. So he said, you are right, and my daughter is also right to select you and all that. So he actually fell in love with Salim when he met Salim Khan. Now, so this guy, Javed Akhtar, comes to Mumbai. He came to Mumbai on 4th October 1964, and his dream was to meet Guru Dutt. His dream was to meet Guru Dutt and talk to him and take some work with him, like he would have got some work from Guru Dutt. So he comes to Mumbai on 4th October, and 10th October, Guru Dutt commits suicide. And the struggle goes on. And for next 5 years he struggled. See, he had a father who was very influential, but he never took his help. If you see in the movies, most of the time the son never takes help of father. In Trishul, Amitabh is the son of R.K. Gupta, but he struggles. He never tells anybody. Are you getting me? So here his father was so big, he never took any help from his father. Then he went to Kamal Amroi and asked for some work. So he said, you become clapper boy. So he gave him 50 rupees per month just to do clapping before the scene. In fact, he was in such a bad condition, which Salim never saw. In his worst days also, what he has seen, nobody has seen. So in the afternoon, he used to not know where I will be able to eat in the night. He didn't know where I'm going to sleep in the night. Can you imagine, in the afternoon, the man doesn't know where he's going to go in the night. That bad condition he has seen. And he had 3 sets of clothes. He used to change in the laundry only. So laundry wala ko kapda diya hai, udhar he used to change and go. So the 2 sets were there only. So he used to wash and again he used to go and wear them. He didn't have a place to keep those clothes also. He used to stay in storeroom of Kamlistan in Jogeshwari Victoria Lane, Kamal Amrish, Kamlistan. So he was staying there because he didn't have any place to stay. After he was thrown out of from there, like something happened and he had to leave, then he was staying in cave. So he has gone through that kind of struggle. And then in the storeroom there were trophies of Meena Kumari. So in the night he used to take the trophy and he used to give he has won the Filmfare. And he used to, same thing is there in the movie Om Shanti Om. इतने शिद्दत से हमने तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है कि जर्दे ने मुझे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश की है. And that Javed Akhtar used to do in the dark of night in Kamlistan studio, and now he has got so many Filmfare trophies, he doesn't have place also to keep, because that was again the mind, whatever it conceives the body delivers. So he got all those awards which he thought of. So he used to every night he used to practice that if I get an award for this, award for that, and he kept on getting the awards. Now there was a second-hand bookseller in Andheri, so he went there and he made friends with him, and then he used to take books from him, and he was also reading. Where Salim was reading there, he was reading here. And Salim was reading in a good environment. He was reading in that Kamlastan studio, dim light, but he used to keep on reading. Again, reading was the connecting point between these two people. Now then he after a few days he took a flat where 120 rupees per month was a rent, and few friends they were sharing that. And one of the friends left. He said, enough of struggle, I'm going back. So he left and he went back to his whatever native place. And there was a problem, who will share the burden? And then one person who used to drink with these guys, because Javed used to drink continuously. So they had a drink buddies. Like there was a group they used to drink together. That time there was a boy who said, I will come in and I will pay and I will. Javed refused. And Javed said, you will not pay. I cannot trust you. And that boy was Shatrughan Sinha. He was Shatrughan. He refused Shatrughan Sinha. And he said, I don't want. We'll do something. And he refused. And then somebody else came. SSC Shatrughan Sinha. See, his father was a big lyricist, Jah Nisar Akhtar. His father remarried. Javed stayed with him for some time, but again left. Sahil Ludhianvi, you must have heard this name. He was very close to his father. And he was close to Jadoo also, Javed Akhtar. So he used to tell his father that your son is tremendous. He will do something and this and that. Okay. But he was the connecting. And one more thing, very important thing is Sahil Ludhianvi always helped Javed in some money, but never showed him that I am helping you. So he used to say, okay, do this for me and I will give you this. Do this. He never said, I am giving you money. He never actually gave money. He kept his dignity intact. Because Javed was a man with dignity. He will not take money from anybody. So Sahil Ludhianvi paid him in such a way that his self-esteem is not affected. Because he used to love him, like his friend's son. And he used to love his talent. Sahil Ludhianvi used to say, you are talented. Now please understand, there is a man who is earning 56 rupees a month, and staying in some studio and having nothing in his pocket. Now there is one he has not given the name. Somebody comes to him and says, you become ghost writer. You write, I will put my name because you are good writer. So I will put my name. You are ghost writer. I will pay you 600 a month. Javed took 3 days and said no. He refused. Can you imagine? That is guts. 50 rupees is earning a month and somebody is giving 600. But he said, I will not give you name. I will give you money. He said, no, I don't want. That is the kind of conviction people should have in their own selves. In fact, his daughter is also like that. Zoya wrote the first movie. She used to go to producers. They used to refuse the script, saying this will not work. Then she used to tell them that you don't know what you are talking about. This is going to be a super big TV. It is your loss. She used to tell the producer, you have just missed the big best script. That kind of confidence Zoya also had. He refused 600. It is shocking. Everybody should know this, that if you believe in yourself, man getting 50 rupees, he is refusing 600 rupees. Because he says, my name should be there on film. Then now this Saradi Lutere, he goes there as where he meets Salim. So there he is given a job of 100 rupees as a clapper boy. In Kamal Amroi's today, he was clapper boy only, so 50 rupees. Here he was clapper boy and he was reading the script to the actors. And they are doing makeup and he is reading the dialogues and taking rehearsal from them. So his salary was doubled. Okay, he was doing both the things, clapper boy and help assistant kind of. Okay, read the day's dialogues to the stars and help them rehearse. Now the rest is history. You know what happened. He met him and all. I have told you. Now how the Jodi formation will talk about. This movie Saradi Lutere bombed. Nobody went to see that movie. It was a big flop. But then after this, Javed Akhtar, people understood this man as something. Javed Akhtar was asked to, J.E. Javed Akhtar, he was asked to write dialogues for Yakin. This movie by Dharmendra and Sharmila Tagore. Dialogues were asked, he was asked to write dialogues. But his name was not given. Nobody gave him credit. Now Javed goes to one Babubhai Bhanji, was a big producer. And Javed went there and explained, told him a story. This is what story I have, can we make a movie? So this Bhanji said, it is not I have never heard something like this. So I want something which is already been done, some twist, but not something very new. So innovation was refused by, and that time Javed said, henceforth I will not write anything original for Hindi movies. I will take some plot and twist it. And if you see all their movies were twist of something. It was not purely original idea. Like a movie Makhi, or there are so many movies of pure idea and something totally different. So all their movies were rip-off, or they have taken a plot and they gave a treatment of their own, Salim Javed. So that is how it is. So Babubhai Bhanji was a person responsible for killing their innovation, I would say. Now S.M. Sagar gave a short story to this guy, Salim Javed, and said, you make a screenplay. One story was there, he said, you make a screenplay of that story because you too can do that. And they did that, and the movie was Adhikar, where Ashok Kumar Dev Mukherjee is Kajol's father and Nanda, they were acting. And again, the name was given to R.S. Verma, no mention of Salim Javed, but they were paid 5,000 rupees, which was a big money. You can understand, 50 rupees a month, 5,000 rupees, both of them got together 5,000 rupees. But no credit. Credit was given to R.S. Verma. Okay. Now Sudhir Wahi was the assistant to Sagar. So he took this boys aside and said, you are talented. Now you go to Sippi Films. Now Sippi Films, this GP Sippi is there, but his son has come back from London. Ramesh Sippi was doing course in London School of Economics, LSE. So he has come from London, and he is very interested in stories, strong stories. So he will understand your value because he is of your age and he is of your ideas. So you go, because all these are Budde log, they will not understand what you want to talk. We are from earlier era. So you go to the your age kind of guys, and they will. And then he was taken to. At that time, GPCP had given 2 hits already, Brahmachari and Bandhan. Bandhan with Kaka who? Rajesh Khanna. So already he was a big producer. And then they meet Ramesh Sippi, London School of Economics. He worked in GPCP Films, Sippi Films for 7 years, doing odd jobs. Ramesh Sippi worked as clapper boy to whatever, because he wanted to understand filmmaking. See, that is why he could make Sholay. People see Sholay, they don't see what has gone through behind, what he has gone through in those 7 years. And Ramesh Sippi always used to say the story department has to be strong. He came from London. He was thinking, I don't want whoever may be the hero or heroine, I want story to be strong. So that clicked Javed and Salim and Javed, and they became friends. Now their arrival in Bollywood. Now see, this is a dialogue. You may not necessarily do it, but we assure you that you will want to hear it till end. This is a dialogue Salim Javed said to Ramesh Sippy. So I have a story idea. You may not do it, but I am guaranteeing you will make sure that you will completely hear the story. You will not stop in between. That is the guarantee. Okay, that was challenge. So Ramesh Sippy, when they are meeting him for the first time, he was kind of, what you're going to tell me. So Ramesh Sippy was lying on the sofa, actually lying, and said, okay, tell me the story. And when the narration started, he sat, and then he leaned forward, an entire movie was done. And he said, very good. The whole movie was run in his mind. He said, I could see the movie here. That kind of clarity was there with Salim Javed. The lying, sitting and leaning forward at the stage. And he saw the film scene to scene in his head. He could see the movie. The way the narration was going on, he could see the movie. And he called production controller Narendra Bedi. You must have seen this name also in a lot of movies, Narendra Bedi. So he called him and said, let us employ them. And that time they offered them 1,000 salary. And they said, you start with 1,000. After few, no, in fact, these guys asked for 1,000. They said, we'll give you 750. And after 3 months, we'll make it 1,000. But that never happened. So they were always getting 750. And now they started work on a story which everybody laughed at. There is a widow, and and the heartthrob Rajesh Khanna dies in first few reels of the movie. Which movie? Andaz. And even this movie they didn't get any credit. But everybody, the industry knew they are the brain behind this. Andaz. And movie was a hit. That was Andaz. So that is what I want to cover up to this. In fact, this story of Salim Javed, I would like to take it, maybe there are so many things which I would like. Now what happened during the Andaz, during the making of Andaz, Rajesh Khanna came across, he saw them to be extremely talented, and then Rajesh Khanna desperately wanted to buy Ashirwad, Rajendra Kumar's bungalow, and he had asked for a particular amount which Rajesh Khanna didn't have, but he was desperate to buy that bungalow. Then somebody from South came to him and said, you act in my movies and I will give you that money which you want to buy for, require. So Rajesh said, okay, I will do whatever it is, give me the money. Rajesh Khanna took the money, gave it to Rajendra Kumar, bought the bungalow, and then he saw the script which was shit. He said, what the hell? How am I going to work in this movie? And then Rajesh Khanna came to Salim Javed and said, please do something with this. You can do this, don't make me work in this nonsense movie. Please do something. And Salim Javed worked on that movie, and Salim Javed said, money is different, our name should be there. So Rajesh Khanna said, I will try because I am just an actor. Though Rajesh Khanna was very powerful. Rajesh Khanna said, in fact, Rajesh Khanna initially said, I will make sure your name comes. Movie gets released, Hathi Mere Saathi, super hit. Their name is not there. So Salim Javed, they went to Rajesh Khanna and said, what is this? He said, see, I am just an actor. How can I order producer? He said, you committed that you will do this. You are not doing this. He said, I am sorry, I cannot do this. He said, no problem. And then they said, now we will not come to you. And now see what happens. And then they wrote Janjeer, and Rajesh Khanna was only going down after this. And maybe one of the reasons why Rajesh Khanna's downfall was Salim Javed. And they said, you dishonored your word. And because of your word, and because Rajesh Khanna should have honored that because he bought the bungalow because of this movie, and even his face was saved. That movie would have been flop otherwise. Salim Javed made sure the movie is hit. Anyway, so that was so every movie what they have written, about 32 odd movies, every movie has some story behind that, behind the curtain story. Though the story of most of the movies is more or less same, but the treatment is different. So we'll discuss that maybe in subsequent lectures. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.